course, the dramatic images of a wounded Donald Trump recalling another dark period in American history more than 4 decades ago now, the attempted assassination of President Ronald Reagan. President Reagan leaving the Washington Hilton Hotel after giving a speech in March of 1981. You'll remember it was John Hinckley Jr. opening fire, wounding the president, the Secret Service forcing him into his limousine, rushing him to the hospital. Now, more than 4 decades later, new images defining this new and troubling chapter. New York Times photographer Doug Mills, who has documented every president since Ronald Reagan, and he was right near that stage last night, just a few feet, in fact, away from the former president. Mills captured those chilling photos, one appearing to show one of those bullets coming very close to the president's head. I spoke to Doug Mills just before we came on tonight. Doug, thank you for being here tonight. I know you have been photographing presidents since 1983. You were in what's called the buffer area, that small area, just a handful of photographers, I presume 3 or 4 of you. I'm curious, Doug, how close were you to the former president, and describe what happened when you knew this was suddenly taking such a dark turn?
Yeah, David, I was part of that small pool that sits right up in the buffer zone, which is just feet from, and sometimes just inches from the podium. And the moments right before the bullets rang out, I was literally looking up at this huge flag that was up above him while he was speaking. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try and get some pictures of that flag flying. And then he gestured to his right, looked over, and all of a sudden the shots rang out. And it was pop, pop, pop. And I was like, oh, my gosh. And so as I looked up, I kept taking pictures at the same time. And then when I saw him fall behind the podium, I thought, oh, dear God, he's been shot. So I immediately ran over to the left and looked around and tried to get my eye on the president where he was. And by the time, in those split seconds, he was already covered and surrounded by members of the Secret Service who were, blanketing him in case the shots were going. And there was complete chaos around us. I couldn't see him. And, I'm thinking, is he okay? What's happened to him? They were lifting the former president up to his feet. And I thought, oh, God, he's alive.